the man who spoke with the Watchers. They were never meant to speak to us. Every ancient culture warned about them using different names. Watchers, observers, those who stand above. For centuries, their presence was dismissed as myth, misinterpretation, or madness. Until one man proved the stars were not silent. Elias Verne did not hear voices in his head. He decoded them, hidden inside ancient star maps, misaligned constellations, and structures that pointed not to planets, but to events yet to come. He uncovered a pattern so precise it could not be coincidence. Someone or something was watching humanity, and when Elias aligned the final symbols beneath the sky untouched by artificial light, the message was no longer indirect. Spoke back. What he discovered was not a blessing. It was a warning humanity was never supposed to receive. Because the Watchers do not guide civilizations. They observe their collapse. One man uncovered a pattern hidden in the stars. Not a message of hope, but a record of forgotten collapses. Ancient observatories, forbidden manuscripts, and a silent order guarding a truth humanity was never meant to hear. Above them all, the Watchers, beings who do not guide civilizations, they observe their end. Elias Verne listened when he shouldn't have, and in doing so, he triggered a choice that would decide whether the truth survives or disappears with him. The first signal. The discovery did not happen in a laboratory. It happened in a forgotten observatory buried beneath layers of sand and time, its stone corridors aligned with stars that no longer appeared in the sky. Elias Verne had followed a trail most scholars ignored. Ancient observatories that did not match known constellations. Their angles were wrong, their measurements impossible, and yet, when overlaid with modern astronomical data, they formed something chilling. A calendar, not of days but of disasters. Standing beneath the open dome of the ruin, Elias recalibrated an antique brass instrument he had restored by hand. As the stars rotated overhead, the device locked into place with a sharp metallic click. The air changed. His equipment registered interference, static without a source. His compass spun uselessly, and then carved symbols along the observatory walls began to glow faintly, responding to the alignment above. That was when the signal arrived. Not sound, not language, coordinates, dates, warnings encoded in stellar movement. Elias realized, with a cold certainty settling in his chest, that the observatory was never meant to study the stars. It was built to listen, and whatever had been sending the signal had been waiting a very long time for someone capable of understanding it. Far above him, beyond the visible spectrum of the night sky, the Watchers noticed that humanity had finally looked up the right way. The Codex and the Silent Order. Elias made his first mistake 3 days later. Instead of disappearing, he went deeper. Beneath a deconsecrated monastery in southern Europe, its bells long melted for war, he gained access to a restricted archive known only through marginal notes and crossed-out references. The monks who once guarded it had not prayed there in centuries, but the architecture told a different story. The corridors were misaligned, not east to west, but skyward. At the center of the underground chamber, Elias found the codex. Blackened leather, copper thread stitching, pages etched, not written, as if the symbols had been burned into the parchment from the other side. No illustrations, no names, only precise diagrams, star positions intersecting with dates of historical collapse, empires, cities, entire eras. As Elias translated, he realized the codex was not a prophecy. It was a record. The Watchers were not predicting disasters. They were documenting cycles, observing humanity reach thresholds it was never meant to cross, then recording the inevitable reset. Then Elias noticed something else. Annotations in a different hand, later additions, corrections, redactions. Someone had been maintaining the codex long after its creation. That was when the lights went out. Footsteps echoed through the corridor. Measured, deliberate. Men who didn't rush. didn't speak. They wore no insignia, carried no symbols, but each held the same mark engraved into metal rings on their hands, a broken circle pierced by a descending star. The Silent Order. They did not want the codex destroyed. They wanted it closed. As Elias escaped through a collapsed passage, clutching copied pages, a single thought cut through the panic with terrifying clarity. The Watchers were not the only ones who had been listening. And unlike the Watchers, these men were willing to kill to keep the stars silent. When the Watchers answer, Elias did not sleep for 48 hours. He moved train to train, city to city, never staying long enough to be predictable. The copied pages of the codex were hidden inside a false lining of his coat, pressed close to his chest like a second heart. The Silent Order was efficient. Too efficient. Every safe location he contacted was already compromised. Every academic ally suddenly unreachable. Someone had activated a protocol centuries old, and Elias had triggered it simply by understanding too much. It was in a forgotten radio observatory in the Alps that the Watchers finally spoke again. The facility was obsolete, its massive dish frozen in rust, pointed uselessly at a patch of sky modern science had abandoned. Elias powered it manually, rerouting ancient circuitry according to the codex diagrams. The moment alignment was achieved, the pain began. Blood ran from his nose. His vision fractured into overlapping skies, past and future layered together. Then the signal pierced through. Not coordinates this time. A sentence. "You are not meant to hear us alive." Elias screamed as symbols burned into his memory, not as images, but as understanding. The Watchers did not fall because they rebelled. They were removed because they remembered. They remembered previous versions of humanity. Civilizations erased so completely they survived only as distortions in myth. The Watchers observed each cycle. The Silent Order ensured no one else ever remembered. When the transmission ended, Elias collapsed. And somewhere outside, boots crunched on snow. The lie humanity lives inside. They caught him at dawn. The Silent Order did not interrogate Elias. They educated him. Inside a sealed chamber beneath the mountains, surrounded by walls lined with sealed artifacts, they showed him what the codex truly represented. Each artifact marked a reset. Technology buried, languages erased, skies poisoned to slow advancement. Human progress was not natural. It was managed. The Watchers documented collapse. The Order enforced amnesia. And Elias was a variable that should not exist. "You believe truth frees people," one of them said calmly. "It doesn't. It destabilizes them." Elias understood then the cruelty of it. The Order were not villains. They were custodians of survival. The Watchers returned one final time, not as voices but as a pressure in the room itself. "The cycle is accelerating," they warned. "Humanity is nearing the threshold again." Elias was given a choice no human had ever been allowed to make. Release the truth and trigger panic, collapse, and war. Or seal it, and become part of the mechanism that erases history. The cost was non-negotiable. If he chose silence, he would be removed from memory. The man who was never there. Elias chose humanity. The ritual was not mystical, it was systematic. Records altered. Digital traces corrupted. Physical proof dismantled piece by piece. Even language bent around the absence of his name. As the process began, the Watchers watched. They did not intervene. They never do. Elias felt himself thinning. Not dying, but unanchoring. Faces he loved blurred. His own reflection refused to hold still. The knowledge remained, but no longer belonged to anyone. Before the final erasure, Elias hid one thing. A flaw in the system. A sequence embedded in modern star charts, dismissible as noise. A message not meant for scholars, but for listeners. For people who feel watched when they stare too long at the sky. Tonight, telescopes still capture unexplained signals. Patterns scientists label coincidence. But if you listen closely, Not with instruments, but with attention. You might hear it, not a voice, a reminder. The watchers are still there. The order is still working, and the man who spoke with them was never supposed to be remembered.